What's on, where, and when. It's the Talk of Nelson. NBS Talk Nelson.
Banking for life means trust, stability, and confidence.
You're there for the lifetime, and NBS providing that right through.
Welcome back to the Couch Crew Sports Show podcast, brought to you by the Turf Hotel and also proudly supported by MBS. I'm Chris Butler, and alongside me once again, Ryan Skippy Stewart. How are you, mate?
I'm good to be here. Lost my seat to a big gentleman beside me, so I wasn't going to put up a fight, so I just let him have it.
There was talk of perhaps we just give him the whole couch.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we managed to squeeze in. And on this show, before we introduce Sam, we're going to be talking rugby, football, basketball, of course, the headlines. But right next to us, Sam Dempster from the Nelson Giants. Nice to see you, Sam.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me on.
It's a bit like old times, actually, because you were the correspondent on the Saturday morning sports show on More FM on a regular basis. So it's nice to see you here again. Mate, you're a true blue Nelsonian, really, aren't you? You grew up in Nelson. So has it always been basketball for you? Did you grow up with basketball?
Yeah, basketball was always a big one for me. When I first started, my dad was a footballer and mum was a basketballer. So they were kind of thrown on me pretty early. But I played volleyball, rugby, cricket, classic New Zealand kid. Any sport I could, any different size, shape, ball I could get my hands on, I'd give it a crack. So yeah, mainly basketball was always the steady one, but yeah, I just loved all sports really.
And we talked a little bit about your family. So, sorry, your father's name was
Alan
Dempster,
yep.
And we reminisced about playing. I used to play football with George, and but on the rugby side, Willie Dempster is a relation.
Yep. Yeah, that was generally when my last name came up, Willie Dempster. Oh, Willie Dempster, yeah. So, obviously a Nelson Bays legend and Stoke rugby legend, and probably a huge reason why when I went to college, I switched to rugby to give it a crack and see what the hype was all about.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So if it wasn't basketball, do you think where would you end up probably being?
It probably would be rugby. The basketball season used to line up well with rugby. So when the basketball season would finish, I'd jump on for Stoke and have a few games for them. And I actually had 2 caps for Nelson Bays. Probably 10 years ago now. But I had one game. This is a while back now, but I was a little bit annoyed with my court time early on in my season. So told the Stoke team, that's it. I'll turn up and play on Saturday. And then the Friday night, I got told I'm starting. So I played a full 80 of rugby, and then went and had a shower, and then went out to the Trafalgar Centre and played a game of basketball.
Well, I could say what could have been, but in actual fact, you've had a pretty good career in basketball, haven't you?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Just speaking to Chris earlier, I think we spoke about it, close to 250 caps. Being a young Nelson lad and being able to join the NBL at 2008. What can you remember about the sort of inkling going into that sort of professional environment in basketball?
Yeah, I mean, it was something really exciting. I think the thing that always stands out to me is the people. I had Mika Vacona, Phil Jones, Nenad Vucinic was there when I started, Mike Fitcher, all these like legends I'd watched growing up, and then to get on the court alongside them and stuff was always very surreal. But Nelson loves basketball.
Yeah.
So you walk into Trafalgar Centre, you run out of the change rooms, people just screaming, like they just love it. So yeah, the people I met along the way has always been something that's I think made it so special.
And it's funny that you Phil Jones, you mentioned you got to play with his son.
Yeah.
Last season.
Yeah.
So from stepping out to a court with someone that you looked up to as a player to then be the captain of his son's team.
Yeah.
That must have been special for you.
Yeah.
To see that and still be around to be that mentor that you had previously.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. I think we also have Zach Rampton, who's just come back. So I played with his dad. He's 16, 7 foot tall.
Incredible.
His dad was 7 foot tall. So, like you say, like I got to play alongside them. They were two Tall Blacks legends. Were part of the team that came fourth at the World Champs, and then so looked up to them in a massive way. And then now I'm working with their sons.
That's
Pretty-
awesome.
pretty
Amazing, isn't it?
Very good.
surreal. Yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
mean, both of you could answer this. That step up into a national league type environment. If you're playing local basketball, maybe regional representative junior basketball or football, all of a sudden, you make the lineup. It's one thing being in trainings, but when you got to take on the seniors at that level on a national level, what's that like?
I think we've got a lot of young guys at the moment, and the thing I was talking to them about, they got a bit shell shocked in Dunedin just with the physicality of what it is playing against men. So they've got all the right skills. The confidence is obviously a big thing, but yeah, you could see in Dunedin there's a bunch of older players who knew they could beat up on the young fellas. So yeah, good learning through that, and but yeah, just developing the confidence in themselves to give it a good crack.
I mean, can you remember your debut in that kind of league?
I was lucky enough to make my debut in the Irish Premier League at 16, and I'll never forget Tommy Wright, who's one of my mentors. I speak to him all the time. He was my coach at the time. He says, "You're 16 years old, just enjoy it."
Yeah,
He says, "Whatever happens, you're not going to remember it. You're 16, so go out and enjoy it." And I think that sort of stuck with me a bit. But for me now, I look at the game that Sam's involved in now and coaching. It's the training, it's the time you have to give up. It's a lot different to what it was. Like even when we were playing semi-pro, it was twice a week. These boys are in every day.
Yeah.
It's a completely different thing. So I think for the young boys, I think the commitment's a big change from that local stuff to then go into having to be there every day, and it's your job pretty much.
Yeah.
I think that's changed a lot in the game.
Yeah, well, I mean, both of you are pretty much full-time in sports, and that's something that was difficult to come by, earlier days. So that's definitely an advancement. Let's talk about a couple of tough results. You just mentioned with the young boys coming up against the Nuggets, and then, geez, the Rams. That was a close game. What did you say? Your son said someone should have fouled
him. Billy was screaming, "Foul him, foul him!" and they got it off.
Yeah, we were screaming the same thing at each other.
But quite a young side, and you're waiting for some announcements with perhaps one or two overseas players that might come in, and some more senior players. But yeah, what do you think about the start of the season?
Yeah, I think the Rams game was probably quite exciting. I think you come into the game not really knowing how things are going to go. We had a good head out against the Saints pre-season, managed to get up on them, which is always a good result. Then we played the Rams. Like the Rams are a powerhouse. They've been a powerhouse in this league for the last few years. So at the same time, it's one of our rival teams. So we got up for that game, and we competed, but just a couple of decisions down the stretch. We reflected on it. Just like you say, which kind of showed our not my age, but the age of the team with some of those decisions. But good learning for us now, rather than you get to crunch time of the season and you've those mistakes pop up then. So yeah, we've looked at that and addressed it, and I mean, it's one of those things. Everyone was like, "Man, great game," but it's still a loss at the end of the day. So it hurts, but we were not too upset about that one. And then the Nuggets, that one hurt a bit more. We felt going in, we were the stronger team. And we just shied away from the physicality, I think. Hard Southland boys, they came in and set the tone with the physicality, and that kind of put our young fellas on the back foot. And then, it just, we just couldn't get rolling. It just never really had a good feel to the game. But yeah, game we feel like we should have got that one.
And do you think that's where the improvement will come? It's literally just game time. These younger lads, the more they play, the more they'll get used to the physicality. Yeah. And that'll be the key changes to the team going forward. Is just that experience.
Yeah. I think you nailed it with what you said just before. At the end of the day, yes, it's a job, but you got to enjoy what you do. Yeah. And a lot of the young people forget that along the way. And we had a training yesterday, and it was me and all the young guys going against the older players, and I stopped them and said, "Hey, we just got to enjoy the game." Yeah. You see the stress on their face, and panicky about trying to be perfect. It's like that's not gonna happen. So you got to just enjoy the process of trying to figure it out, and getting better day in and day out. And sometimes it's a hard lessons, as you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
You turn your L's into lessons, but it hurts. It doesn't make it any easier when you.
Yeah, and I suppose, as a young player, there's a couple of things. One is trying to raise to the standard, but it's that pressure they put on themselves, isn't it? Because the older players are looking at them and that they probably feel that, they have to be up to the mark. And of course, the wily older players know a few tricks. So you know how to get around a field or a court. The young guys are just trying to prove themselves and they'll be tense. But if they're on a basketball court by themselves, just with their mates, they'll be relaxed and pulling some stuff out, wouldn't they? So that's the. I mean, I always used to say, geez, I wish I had my 35-year-old brain, when I was 22, 21,
Yeah, 100% agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because a quick start, you had the Rams, then a quick turnaround. I mean, that was the other thing. You had to travel down south in a very short space of time. Skippy and I were talking last week just about the schedule you guys have sometimes. It's just crazy,
It's crazy.
Yeah.
turning around overnight. But then this long wait, and then the Saints on Saturday night. So how's that break been? And also what are you expecting from the Saints?
To be honest, I was pretty sore after I think I played 38 minutes against the Nuggets. So a few days off wasn't the end of the world. We took the weekend off, bit of time to reflect on watch the game back, figure out what we think went wrong. Obviously a few things we identify and then look at how we can go better against the Saints. The Saints are basically the Crusaders of the league. So you want to bring everything you can. But I mean, same as the Rams, we get excited for those games. Those are I think the Saints and the Rams are our real rivalry games. So 2 games we get up for, we get excited for. So yeah, it's been good to have a whole week to just train and kind of figure out little things and fix things up.
That's awesome. Again, as I watched a few games last season, again, my son loves it, as you know, and I always remember there always seems to be a bit of bite in the Saints game. The ones I've seen, I know there was a former player last year who threw himself about a bit at home, so as you just mentioned, the Saints is the one that you really look forward to.
No, it's a big game, mate, and they are not an easy team to beat. So you get up for it, you get excited for it, and you just try and put your best foot forward. But like I said, they're the Crusaders of the league, mate. So they're the name that have always been there. Their management always put a great team together. I mean, it's one of those things where you almost come in with less pressure, knowing that they're meant to be the big dogs.
It's a bit like us in football. Sometimes we say we've got a free hit because we're not expected to do anything because they are so big. And I use Cash Tech as an example. Like they win league after league after league after league. So you go down and you just go, well, we've got nothing really to lose here, so we can actually play with a little bit more freedom. Sometimes you see it, which is cool.
That's right.
It's going to be mentioned before. I mean, over 200 games. Do we know how much now? How many games?
Andy does. Our manager tracks all that stuff. He's a good man, Andy. But I think I'll reach my 250th this year. Yeah.
Oh wow, awesome.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Long career. So, is there any particular standout for you in the Giants jersey?
I mean, that's generally when I get asked this, I'll be like 2 still to come. And I'm hoping there's something at the end of the tunnel. But I've had some awesome games where any time you beat the Saints is great. We beat the Saints at home a couple of years ago, which no one was doing at the time. That was awesome. And the Saints crowd is unreal as well. So beating them up there and just silencing that crowd is a great feeling. One of my good mates owns the Saints, so so it's always a little bit of icing on the cake. Messaging him after the game.
Exactly.
He goes quiet after that for some reason. But just again, like I said, all the people, like I've got a really good relationship with Mika Vakona and Phil and I get to hang out most days. Like that's pretty cool. I think when I remember when I was a 6-year-old at Birchwood Primary and Phil Jones came into the school and he was teaching me how to reach and grandma's cookie jar when you're shooting
Oh,
the
right.
ball, and and then
Crazy, yeah.
now I'm bumping shoulders with them and joking around with them. So it's
Yeah.
pretty special. Yeah.
It's funny, we walked in here and unfortunately we had to move a couple of people off the pool table
Yeah.
to the other pool table. And he said, I've got a son called Brendan Heath who used to play for the Giants, and that was the 90s. And so, that was a bit of a heyday, wasn't it? Did you used to go along and watch them as kids? And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to love watching the Giants. Same thing in Trafalgar Centre. I mean, I remember some highs and lows watching the games and things
Yeah.
like that. But the Trafalgar Centre has just always been a fortress, and that's actually something we've talked about this year. We want to make it that again. We've had a pretty poor home results the last few years, and we really want to turn that around and give back to our fans, I guess, where they show week in and week out, no matter how our results go. They're just so loyal. So we want to make it a fortress again where teams don't want to come in.
Well, yeah, we touched on 250 games this year. Again, I retired a couple of years ago from football, and coaching was something that I did. I know you do a lot of coaching yourself, and you do a lot of work with Nelson College. Is that something you see yourself continuing to do, Sam, after you stop playing? Does coaching excite you?
Yeah, I think so. I think the thing I enjoy working at a high school level because you can use sport as a tool to help shape young men and help them become good human beings, hopefully. So, I enjoy coaching at the high school level. I didn't 5 years ago, probably would have said, no, I'm happy where I am. But I've enjoyed the process of learning about the game and on the other side,
Seeing
with
a
coach and
different
stuff.
lens.
So, I'm definitely at a point where I enjoy playing and coaching probably the same. It's just for me trying to figure out what that step looks like and when Mike will let me hang my boots up, and
I know you've been trying. The phone calls keep coming.
we can give you the tip. It's usually the body that lets you know.
No, it tries to let me know every summer.
Okay, well, hey, look, that's great background, Sam. We really appreciate you opening up to us about your basketball career and perhaps what could have been, maybe rugby. I don't know.
Yeah.
Lock, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Flanker.
Oh, is that your position?
Yeah.
But big game, and we're going to need a massive crowd at Trafalgar Centre against the Wellington Saints. So, is it 7:30 tip off now? Is it?
Yeah. So,
right.
You chuck the Rapid League game in beforehand. So then 6:30 Rapid, and then 7:30 real game.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Just on the Rapid League thing, I think it's amazing. That the concept of it.
Well, tell me a little bit about that actually, because I haven't really come across that.
So Rapid League is a game before the game. So it's 4-minute quarters. You have none of the starters are allowed to play. So it's only for the bench players. No international players are allowed to play. So it's basically a way for, like when I started, my first 2 years, I didn't step on the court.
Yeah.
You waved a towel around, you gave out some crisp high fives, and you did all that. But now it's a chance where it's kind of almost an introduction to the level where the young fellas get out there. It's fast.
It is very
4 minutes,
fast.
and you go nuts. So I played. We've won the last 2 years.
Oh wow!
So, the first 2 years of Rapid League, we've won both years, which is really cool. But I actually really enjoyed it. When they announced the idea of it, I was pretty against it.
Yeah.
When I seen it all come together, man, fantastic.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it is awesome. We go and watch it. We don't need to watch it, and it is absolutely frantic.
I mean, the way things are going, they're going to have a Rapid League, aren't they? At some point. Around the world. It's like three-man basketball's had a bit of a resurgence, isn't it? And didn't New Zealand just qualify for? Was it the Olympics?
I think it is.
Beat Brazil in the to get the qualification, and one of the Brazilian players just absolutely went off at his player for not shutting down the guy. But I mean, he was at a stretch. So
no, they won the Asia Cup for the first time in history, and then but. Aston Inwood, who played for us last year. I was going
to mention Aston.
So he's prioritising 3-on-3 now.
Wow,
Which he was a young fellow I coached since he was 12, so I was gutted to lose him, to be honest. But yeah, 3-on-3 is another pathway. Same as sevens and rugby.
Exactly. It's the concepts that changed the game that seem to be getting a lot of attention now. Like sevens is massive in rugby.
Because I remember years ago, I was at Fiveshire, and that was in the 90s heyday. We used to close down the streets, Trafalgar Street and Hardy Street, and have 3-on-3 basketball tournaments.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So good luck, and let's get the crowd out. But it's always a great atmosphere. I mean, the stadium always fills, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All right, now Sam, you're going to stick around because you got to help us out with tips.
Yeah. I don't know how good they'll be.
This is
you're not against much, mate.
the one thing with the slight change in the podcast is that we're really stretching people's overall sports knowledge, including myself. We must make mention, though, of we're going to start off with rugby and college rugby. 150 years of school rugby rivalry between Wellington College. It was on Saturday against Nelson College first 15. They had to, it's actually, I think, the oldest foe that they have. I know that Nelson College played Nelson Club, I think, in the first rugby game. But Wellington College and Nelson College have been playing for many years. And, of course, they're in the quadrangular tournament. But geez, Nelson College had to travel away. It was a typical Wellington
I watched the game.
day, ferocious, wet and windy conditions. It was at Mount Victoria, Wellington College, and Wellington pretty dominant in that performance, 43-5. I remember when I used to go to Nelson College, Wellington were dominant. They were massive men.
Massive pool of players as well.
But in more recent years, Nelson College has had the wood over most of the teams, including Wellington. But but pretty hard in those conditions. And Wellington well used to it.
We watched the game and they won the toss. They must have won the toss and they went with the win.
Oh yes, yeah.
They just didn't let Nelson out, and it was so hard. And we watched it. Nelson got a few breakaways and nearly got a couple of tries. But even like Wellington had an international Japanese player on the wing that is going to go there. So big stock, like a lot of top players. A couple of All Black Sons were in there as well for Wellington. So I think it was a tough task altogether, to be fair. Yeah.
But great history. And even Mark Ellis was interviewed by James Marshall on his podcast. And even he played against Nelson College. So that was a great talk. If you get a chance to see that interview, do so, about his time playing against Nelson College. The championship college rugby doesn't start till 2nd of May. So we'll cover off that then. But the Stuff Tasman Trophy results from the weekend: Waimea 43 over Nelson 26. Marist continuing. Well, he won't like this. 45-8 over Stoke. Actually, I saw Les this morning with Mark, and Les is a Marist man. Mark French, he's a Stoke man, so he'll be licking his wounds. Kararangi 29 over Central 19. So Kararangi bouncing back after that. So we're going to do our tips for this weekend, and it's actually tonight. We're recording on a Thursday, the 23rd of April, and it's Nelson taking on Marist at Trafalgar Park. Boys, who are we picking? Sam?
Oh, mate, anyone that's not Stoke, I struggle to support, but we'll
no bias.
Surely, yeah. I mean, Marist were always hard to beat back in my day. So yeah, we'll back Marist.
Marist, Les will be happy.
Marist as well.
On Trafalgar Park. Kararangi taking on, here we go, Stoke at Cook's Reserve.
Yeah, no, that's
so Stoke are away.
Yeah, no, stoke it up.
All the way.
Stoke,
as well.
Yeah,
just
I live here.
Yeah.
Me and Sam live around the corner from each other, mate. We're not allowed to say anything.
I think I got to pick Kararangi at home. I mean, but anyway, you never know. Stoke might bounce back, and Central get a home game against Waimea, and the Wobbers are playing really well at the moment. That's at Lansdowne Park.
Yeah, Waimea strong.
Both Waimea?
Waimea for sure.
Yeah.
All righty. Okay, on to our Super Pacific rugby results. Blues 47-40 over the Highlanders. Waratahs 29-14 over Moana Pacifica. The Chiefs 22-17 over the Hurricanes. Jeez, what a game that was. And I thought the Hurricanes had it, you know.
I talked about this last week being the big game of the round, and I went with the Chiefs, but at halftime I thought it was all over.
Yeah. But second half they started strong, and geez, what a return from Sahili. Fijian Druv 33-28 against the Brumbies. They do tend to shine at home, don't they? And then the Force, I just thought the Crusaders would bounce back then, 31-26. And that was the same thing. The Force just kept on hanging in there, and they got the goods. And the new winger, forgot his name, from league.
Yeah.
I noticed a Facebook post of the potential Australian back line, and there's 2 or 3 leagueies in there. Plus, is it Jorgensen at the back?
Is that Lomax, the winger?
I can't remember. Yes, Lomax, I think it is.
Yeah.
And I think it's Jorgensen, isn't it? The 15 for Aussie, that speedster. But anyway,
rapid. Yeah.
But they're going to be pretty lethal this time.
It's for the Crusaders, though.
I know, but let me get to that. Okay, it's a super round. It's all in Christchurch at the new One New Zealand Stadium, fully covered.
Cool.
I mean, that's just a fantastic facility at Te Kaha, and it kicks off with Crusaders versus the Waratahs.
You got to bet Crusaders. Yeah.
At home?
Yeah,
They're going to bounce back?
Yeah.
In that situation as well. Yeah.
I heard Whaianuku's playing 7.
I've seen that, yeah.
Biggest thing I heard about the whole thing, that the horses aren't allowed on the pitch.
I know.
That was the biggest.
I mean,
we always have the horses going. Not allowed.
In the design of the stadium, you'd be surely sitting down saying, we need to make room for the horses.
The horses are gone, mate.
Got to.
They're out of there.
Oh, we can't get the horses on, eh?
No, but yeah.
I mean, I'm absolutely baffled, unless, of course, they had quite a lot of people against the animals in the stadium, but that's most of the kids and mums. Like my partner absolutely loves the horses.
Yeah.
How could you not make room for that?
But
anyway,
what a stadium.
Yeah.
That's down there now. So hopefully they get off to a winning way.
Yeah, surely.
Yeah.
That's so that is at 7:35, I think.
Yep.
Is that right? I've got. I could be. I might have those times wrong. But Hurricanes versus the Brumbies.
Canes bounce back. Have to.
The Canes.
They have
Brumbies
to.
are pretty good, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd stay with the Canes as well.
Canes need to bounce back. Blues versus Reds.
Blues is actually my team.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Carlos Spencer.
Oh, yes.
You know?
Yeah.
So no.
And now his son
Blues.
playing.
Yeah. It's cool. Eh?
Yeah. And
So
although the
Blues?
Blues as well. Bowden Barrett's blonde hair.
Yeah,
Done it for their teammate who's
Awesome,
on cancer.
yeah.
It was a bit interesting seeing him with blonde hair in the front row with blonde hair. So I think they're going too good at the moment. The Blues, I think they'll be too strong.
Highlanders and Moana Pacifica.
Yeah,
Highlanders.
Yeah, that's a good game though.
But
High scoring, I think.
you just never know with Moana when they put it together.
When they turn
But
up,
they're just struggling, and it's that whole, can the team come closer together in adversity? And sometimes that works for you, Chiefs versus Drua, and Drua have come off beating the Brumbies, but it isn't Christchurch.
Yeah.
Probably be 5 degrees.
Yeah. Chiefs.
Okay, so here's the interesting thing. Here's the top 6. The Chiefs on top, Hurricanes on 31 as well, followed by the Blues 3rd. Good to see them up there. Brumbies, and then the Reds. Crusaders, even after the weekend, are still 6. So if they get a win,
Right up.
they're still in the 6.
Yeah.
And then their players come back and they win the
And then they win
championship.
it.
That's the thing. Yeah, if you let them hang around there, they're dangerous.
They always come good, don't they?
Yeah.
All right, okay, we're going to go to the round ball and over to Skippy, and you'll be in a pretty good mood after the weekend. 6-0 against Selwyn United. You were pretty confident on getting a win, although you didn't know what Selwyn were going to bring to the table, but pretty happy with that performance.
Yeah, it was good. As I said to you last week, we played well and lost games. So it was coming, and I think we showed a lot of improvements as a group. As I said, we've got 7 new players in the starting 11, which makes things interesting. So they're starting to find their feet, and Johnny, who's one of the new players, got a hat-trick. So he's finding himself now in the club, and he's settled into Nelson life. And I think we've got a tough game this week, but the boys are in good form.
Oh, so where has he come from, Skippy?
So he's American. He was at Wellington Olympic for a little while last year.
Oh, you pinched him off Paul.
Walt sent him down because Paul was leaving. So he looked after me there. I'll shout out for that one. But Johnny's a top man, top pro, 27 years old, and good around the dressing room with the boys. And I think he's starting to settle, and you can see it in his performances. So boys are happy, and we look forward to this week.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that. But actually, the Women's Southern League kicks off this weekend. Is that on Saturday?
Yes.
1 o'clock at Saxton. So you must get down and support the girls. It's their first game, but boy, what a tough round. Cashmere Technical.
Yeah, they've got a tough ask. I think they've got Cash Tech, Coastal Spirit, and Dunedin City Royals in the first 3 weeks, so the top 3 teams. So they're a young side. I think for them, they've just got to go out, and we talked about enjoying your football. I think they've got to go out and play with a little bit of freedom and not really worry about the results, and they've got the ability, but again, very like the Giants, it's a very young team.
Now, as you missed the coaching lineup, what's the coaching lineup?
David Knapstick has stepped up from the 17 Girls Academy because a lot of his group has moved up, and Michelle Anderson, who's came in. Michelle's got a football background, works at NMIT, used to work in the college at Neyland. Strength and conditioning background, but a lot of football as well. So she's came in, and they're a good duo, and I think they'll go well.
So it's actually a double header because you then take on Cashmere Technical, and is that on
Monday?
Yes,
it's a weird one. I can't get my head around it.
Yeah.
So we're down there Monday. So the boys have had.
So actually you're traveling down there. Yeah, right.
We're down there on Monday, which will be quite different for the boys playing on Monday.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So Cashmere, traditionally strong side, it didn't quite all go their way last season.
Yeah, last year they started pretty slow. They lost the first 3 games.
Yeah.
And then we're in the playoff hunt, just missing out, coming third. But they've scored 29 goals, conceded 2 and won every game so far this year. So they're strong.
They're going to be tough. But you'd be up for this one. You'd be feeling that you could get the win.
As I said, they're one of those teams where we sometimes call it a free hit.
Yeah,
we're not expected to do much, especially down there. So the boys get up for it. So we're looking forward to it, and we'll have a go.
2 o'clock Monday.
Yep.
Now I don't know if it's streamed, but sometimes
it's going to be on FIFA Plus.
FIFA Plus, so make sure you catch that game. Nelson Pine Women's Premiership. This is the local first division, Sam, and just the results: Wakefield going down 9-0 to Golden Bay. Richmond Swans going down 4-0 to the Mapua Cougars. A good result for them. Nelson Suburbs look pretty strong. This is their first 11, 9-0 over the Motueka Angels. And Sprig and Fern Tahona going down to the Richmond Foxes 4-0. So obviously a good game, but geez, just shows the Foxes are still
there.
Strong, aren't they?
Yeah.
And apologies to the Diamonds last week. I got that totally in the wrong order. So you got to win. Okay. Quick picks. Here we go. Nelson's Women's Premiership fixtures for this weekend. Golden Bay versus Tahona.
Tahona.
There you go. Yeah. Up the Sprig and Fern. Yeah.
Oh, is that you going
Sprig and Fern Tahona?
They've got to travel over the hill.
Yeah, they'll be okay.
Okay. Mapua Cougars over Get Cars FC Nelson Diamonds. That's in Mapua.
Mapua, surely.
There you go.
At home on the
yeah, I'll agree with that one.
Cold Store Construction Richmond Swans are at home to Wakefield.
Surely the Swans.
Swans at home.
Yeah, he's pretty good at that.
He is. He
knows what
now
he's
you've
doing.
got a second 11 team. Nelson Suburbs second 11.
Yeah, so we've managed, which is brilliant. We've had an influx of girls that want to play senior football, so we've been able to take the buyout and put in another team.
Oh, fantastic!
Which has been huge. So they trained last night together. We had 34 down there.
Oh,
so
awesome.
Unbelievable. So yeah, we're really, really happy, and the coaching staff have got together quickly. A couple of dads have put their hands up.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, really good to get them out there, and I don't think that'll be much of a game on Saturday. I think they're just going to mix up and play each other, and the girls used to playing, and but really good for women's football in the region to have another team.
Fantastic.
In there.
Awesome. Must be the World Cup coming up. They're all
we've
got their eyes on that.
From Garran College,
Right?
Yeah, so, which is awesome.
And then the Angels, tough task, taking on the Richmond Foxes in Motueka.
I'm trying to look at last week's results. The Foxes.
Yeah.
Yes, they're still leading the charge. Men's division and Tahona 2-1 over the Golden Bay Goats. That would have been a good game, pretty close, and good to see the Goats back. Rangers 5-0 over Smith and Sons Richmond, and showing their class there. And FC Nelson, geez, what a tough game, 2-1 over the reserves at Guppy. Did you manage to catch that, Skippy? Or
I didn't. I was at home watching boys' college in the rugby. But all accounts, speaking to Geezer, tough game. Good game. Quite close and competitive. So yeah.
Yeah.
I think we said that last week that we thought it would be one of the standout fixtures. So yeah.
Yeah. Now, interesting. Either there was a glitch on the website or no First Division football this weekend.
Chatham Cup. So it's the
Chatham
pre-rounds. So FC are playing Mochuega.
Right.
And I do not know anything past that.
Okay.
So I
My
apologize
bad,
to the
because
team
I
that-
missed that. I don't know why they don't flag that on. I know it goes off to a central thing, but they should flag it Chatham Cup, because we have to
Yeah.
go off to a separate area
to find it. Yeah.
to find Chatham
So
Cup.
I do believe Richmond are in, Tahuna are in, Rangers are in.
Right.
So they'll all be playing each other in some, but I haven't
Okay.
actually seen the fixture.
All right. There is actually, if you search Chatham Cup, they do show all the draws. So we'll do the results for that next week. But so what I thought I'd do is focus on second division this weekend, and it's the Nelson Suburb Seals taking on the Nelson Suburb second division at Saxton. Are you going to call that one, Skippy?
That's the old boys. That's Hottie and the boys like that. Yeah,
yeah,
you know a few of those boys
Yeah.
against pretty much our under-20s team. So that'll be an interesting. I'm glad I'm injured. I'm not available. But yeah, the boys had a great result last week. The Seals lads, they beat Carini, who are quite a youthful team,
Yes,
4-3.
yes.
So Walshy and the boys will try to use their experience and shepherd the young boys around, I would say. So it'll be a tough one, but I'm going to go with experience. I'm going to go with the Seals.
Yeah, I'll be in
Are you
trouble
back
if
in
I
that?
don't get the Seals. Yeah.
You won't be able to show faith.
Yeah.
Nelson Carini taking on Spring and Fern Tahuna. That's at Neil Park.
Yeah. Carini are athletic, but
But,
Geezer's team, because Geezer plays
Yes.
for Tahuna, but still coaches for us. They've got a good side this year in Division 2, Tahuna. I think they'll win that one.
They'll win
They're
that
a
one.
bit
You're back in
strong.
that.
Yeah, Tahuna as well.
Tahuna.
Yeah.
Nelson Reserves taking on Tasman Civil, Richmond Thistle, my old side.
FC Nelson Reserves. We played them 2 weeks ago and drew.
Oh,
I'll go the FC Nelson Reserves.
at home.
Yeah.
I'll go the other one then.
Thistle.
Yeah.
That's
You
like
are-
the
you
old
are
Thistle
team.
team.
Yeah.
Thistle.
Nelson Locomotive taking on Spring and Fern Tahuna, third 11. That'd be a very social game, I'd imagine.
Yeah. Loco. Go with
Okay,
go
at home.
experience. Yeah.
Yep. So,
Are you going the local
Yep.
as well?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Let's go into the Premier League. And just when you thought Arsenal were getting the jitters, there you go.
We talked about this last week. Yep.
Man City get the results. So they're sitting top of the table on 70, equal at Arsenal, but there must be a goal difference, followed by Man United third, Aston Villa third, Liverpool fifth, Chelsea eighth, and sacked their coach at
Yeah,
this
the
part of
morning.
season.
Yep. He's gone. Yep. Crazy.
Isn't it?
It
Hey,
is.
do you keep a little bit of an eye on the Premier League, or you not up with the play on that?
No, I can't honestly. No.
We've got another segment for you after this, so don't worry.
We've got
Yeah, so what are your thoughts? I mean, it's
One-
anyone's game now, isn't it?
absolute bottle jobs. They are. Arsenal, how many times? They were 16 points clear at one stage.
I know.
I just think you could see it in the faces after the Man City game at the weekend that they just can't do it.
Yeah.
I think Man City will win it, and I think they'll win it comfortably as well.
Because once you'd smell the blood, and you got that
Well, Pep's-
momentum,
he's-
away you go, don't you?
The
Yeah.
coach is built for it.
Yeah.
He loves it, and they
Yeah.
feed off it. So I think Man City will be hard to stop now.
At the bottom of the table, we've got Nottingham Forest 36, West Ham 33, Tottenham still in the bottom three, 31, Burnley. I think that's it now, isn't it? Because there was
They're
a
gone.
loss,
Yeah, them and Wolves have gone.
and Wolves have gone. So
So to bring you to date, Sam. So Tottenham are like Golden State Warriors, and they're about to get relegated.
Oh, okay. Jeez.
So they just built a 80,000 stadium, spec,
Oh,
and they're now looking at going down to the championship.
Championship.
I actually feel like Tottenham's my dad's team.
Yeah,
Oh, is that
they are on the
That's
brink.
one team
They're
I
on the
know pretty
brink.
well,
Well, you
yeah.
see, in my day, I used to like Tottenham. It wasn't my team, but you had Glenn Hoddle and Ozzy Ardiles and these fantastic players. And
It's
I think
just
a lot of people
crazy.
followed. It was like Liverpool. You
Yeah,
follow the clubs because of the players they had.
Yeah.
But
it's crazy.
It's unbelievable.
The amount of money they spent on players and just hasn't
Yeah.
worked.
Meanwhile, the headlines: Wrexham, can they do 4? So I didn't even check where they are.
They're in the playoffs, so they've just got into the championship playoffs. So Wrexham were bought over by Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
And they've gone back to back promotions.
This would potentially could
So-
be their fourth.
Yeah, so they've gone from pretty much non-league football,
Yeah.
and they're one now away from the Premiership.
Wow. Yeah.
And yeah, it's
And it's
crazy.
not like
They haven't thrown money at it. No,
no,
they
it's
haven't.
not like they've pulled out hundreds of millions of dollars. They've done it through careful budgeting and
Yep.
also
Yep.
obviously they've kept the coach, haven't they?
He's been there. Parkinson's been there the whole time. Yeah.
So fantastic coach, and obviously just picking
Yeah.
as you go along to that level. So
Yeah.
it's amazing, isn't
If
it?
they do it, it'd be huge to go from there to where they are.
Remind me who's
Coventry have gone up.
Coventry. That's
Yeah, and Millwall are still second at the moment.
yeah,
So yeah, the Championship, the hardest league in the world. It is to get out of.
yeah.
Yeah, so
There you go.
Spurs won't get out once they're in.
It's all to play for. Okay, world headlines, and I couldn't really find anything of that much significance apart from the fact that the NBA playoffs are on.
Yep.
And I thought, well, Sam's here, so why don't we go through that?
Talking my language now.
Here we go.
Yeah.
So actually, in the East, we've got the Magic lead the Pistons 1-0. The Cavaliers lead the Raptors 2-0.
Yep.
The Knicks over the Hawks 1-1, and the Celtics over the 76ers. So
Yep.
do you follow any of those guys or?
I loved the Magic when I was young.
Yes.
Favorite player, Anthony Hardaway, played for the Magic, but I don't really have a team at the moment. I used to love watching LeBron, but he's just bounced around too much for my liking now. But like the Pistons are the 1 seed, Magic are 8th, so them taking that game is pretty crazy. But yeah, I think the Cavaliers will cruise past the Raptors. Knicks, the Hawks stealing one off the Knicks is huge. And then I think the Celtics will cruise past the Celtics
Right.
as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then in the West, we've got the Thunder. They lead the Suns 1-0. The Lakers leading 2-0. And the Rockets, the Nuggets and the Timberwolves 1-1, and Spurs and the Trailblazers 1-1.
Yeah.
So what are we thinking there?
The Thunder, I think Thunder will beat Suns in 4. Suns did well to get in there. The Lakers is a cool story at the moment because obviously LeBron's 41, something like that. 2 star players are out of the lineup, injured, and he's still managing to guide them past the Rockets. So
Yeah, right.
pretty impressive story, and just adds to his legacy really, which is I'm 35 and hurt so much after the. Now I don't know how he's doing at 41.
Now, have you, because I've seen that video, have you ever had a player while you're playing against him come up to you and say, you used to play against my dad? Because that's what happened to LeBron James.
I've seen that.
I did see that.
I've seen it myself. Yeah.
Yeah, I did see that. No, I haven't. That might be my sign to retire. If I do have that, but no, I did see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy what he's doing, to be honest. I mean, obviously he's got a bit more money spent on his body than most of us, but
Yeah, that's right.
it's unreal. Like he was throwing down a reverse dunk. It's just, I don't know how he can do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I seen an interview after the game. He was saying how sore his body. He said, I'm gonna have to sit down for this interview because I'm feeling a bit sore.
Gathered.
Yeah. But the playoffs are awesome. You went back 5 years, you knew who was winning the NBA before the playoffs even started.
Yeah,
Where at
yeah.
the moment now it's like 1-1 through all these games with the
There's a lot of teams there I haven't seen in a while,
Yeah,
in and
yeah.
around it. Like I remember the Magic having Shaq. Like
Yeah,
that's going back
yeah,
that long.
yeah.
Like, but to see them back in the playoffs, which I probably haven't, Knicks especially for
Yeah,
me growing up,
yeah.
Knicks were never that great.
No,
So,
that's
to
right.
see them in there just shows you that there's been a bit of a change
Yeah,
there.
Yeah.
It's exciting. It makes it worth watching.
Yeah.
Which I think the NBA got a bit boring with the same team.
Yeah.
Always been there or thereabouts, but now like the obviously Golden State not even making the playoffs.
Yeah, true.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I think the next wave of players are coming through.
Coming
now,
through.
which is exciting to watch.
We were talking about games and how more games basketball's players. What do the NBA players play?
Oh, ridiculous amount. I think it's at 82.
Oh, is that right?
Right.
Right.
So,
I remember seeing it once
Yeah.
and going, "Oh my
Yeah.
God!"
yeah,
And they literally finish a game. They're on a plane.
yeah,
Yeah.
Next game.
yeah.
Crazy.
Because they're always talking about players. Oh, players shouldn't be able to rest games and things like that. But
It's
the
massive.
demand on their body is like
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge. Yeah.
So again, I mean, you can have one key player, but it's about the roster, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
at times that key players going to be injured or
Yeah.
needs a rest or
Yeah.
and it's making those calls.
Yeah. And that's teams like the Pistons, like they've been fantastic this year, and they've got some stars, but they've just got like you say, they've built a team and having real success because the team is just gelling really well. The Knicks are the same thing, just a really nice team, which for me as a fan of the game, I love seeing
Good to see.
a team
Yeah.
have success and show what sport's really about, where rather than one guy who does it all. But it's good basketball to watch in the NBA.
Could you pick who will be the two finalists for the World Series?
I think the Thunder will get there. The Thunder are just a fantastic team. They have been really good the last few years, but they're just building a legacy at the moment. So they've got one or two superstars, but then the rest of their players just do their job like fantastic. And so I think the Thunder will get out of the West, but it won't be easy. I think it definitely could be an upset. The Spurs were looking good with Wembanyama, but he just got concussion yesterday. Hit his head on the floor. It's horrible.
Oh,
Horrible to watch. I don't know
He's a big French guy, isn't he?
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
like
didn't
7
see it.
foot,
Oh
6
my
foot, something like
God.
that. Yeah. The East is going to be interesting. Yeah,
Right.
I'm not sure.
Couldn't
who
call
comes out
that.
there. No, couldn't call it.
Oh, it makes it for exciting then if it's that close.
Yeah.
All right, that's now just must make mention that hockey and netball have touched base, so they're just working on finding someone to catch up with us, which
Lovely.
is fantastic. And their season starts early May.
Yep.
So next week, actually, we're having a double header because Mike's going to come and join us and tell us about his background. Of course, his father's been heavily involved as well. So big history there with the Fitchett family.
Yep.
So that's great. And is it Kip who's taken over from Gavin Larson as commercial manager? So
Good man, Kip.
yeah, nice. Fantastic. Really appreciate you spending your time to come in, your day off in actual fact, to come in and spend some time with us on the couch, mate. It's been fantastic. We wish you all the best for the rest of the season and gelling the side, and hopefully the body goes all right for you, mate, throughout the season.
No, I appreciate that. Thanks for having me on.
And college, what's happening with them this season?
We don't really start playing until we've got club ball starts next week, so we'll compete locally in the men's league.
Right.
So that starts next week, and then we don't really have a tournament until September,
Sort of end of the year.
And
Now, remiss of me actually to talk about the local league because how's that going at the moment? Is that
it's good. There's I think there's 6 teams this year. I'm similar position. We've got awesome numbers at Nelson College, so we have an A and a B side.
Oh wow!
That compete in the top men's
awesome.
Screams grade, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And then I think there's Waimea Senior A, Stoke Bears, which is my old club team, Waimea Night Riders, which is Phil Jones and the old boys.
Right.
So yeah,
Cool.
it's a cool league.
Yeah.
Tuesday nights is a fun level of basketball, but it's in a good place.
Women's teams, are there numbers there or?
It is struggling a little bit. I think last year they had 4 teams. They just brought the draw out last night, so I haven't seen the draw for women's league yet. But I mean it's something that we as a sport need to really address. Is we seem to have lots of young girls interested, and then we lose them somewhere along the way. So to be honest, it's been a problem we've had for a long time. And Nelson Basketball working hard with different ideas to try and.
Well, I mean, we've got now. I've forgotten her name, but she just got drafted into the women's.
Charlize Ledger Walker. Yep.
Wow, what a play! I mean, I saw some of her highlights. What a fantastic player she is.
Yeah, I used to go up and watch secondary school nationals, and the boys basketball was always fantastic, but she was just amazing to watch. The way she read the game, the way she was like a 35-year-old brain and a 18-year-old's body. She's just so intelligent with how she reads the game, plays the game, and then even watching her at high school, I always kind of thought she'll be there or thereabouts, and it was awesome to see. And she deserves it. She's worked hard, and hopefully young girls watch that, see the opportunity.
Huge opportunity.
Good inspiration, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Full credit to her and the work she's put in.
Yeah, fantastic. Really appreciate your time, mate. Thank you very much. Good luck against the Saints.
Thank you.
It's Saturday night at Trafalgar Centre, 7:30 tip-off, but don't forget the, what do you call it, quick fire?
Rapid League.
Rapid League.
Yeah.
The Rapid League.
We'll be there.
Times are moving on.
We love it. We love it.
Thanks very much, Skippy. Good luck this weekend.
No worries, mate. Thank you.
Travelling down to Kashmir.
Yep.
Don't forget to check the road conditions. They go down there and they get stuck.
We get
snow.
stuck every time we go down. Yeah, it's been a while. We nearly didn't land in Dunedin a couple of weeks ago, but yeah, it is. We have issues.
Good luck to the girls and good luck to you on the weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks to the Turf Hotel for hosting us once again, and of course MBS for supporting Talk Nelson. Don't forget you can watch this on talknelson.co.nz. You can also search the broadcast studio. We're on Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, the whole lot. So make sure you check us out, and we'll see you again next week.
What's on, where, and when. It's the Talk of Nelson. NBS Talk Nelson.